So there was kind of dissent being shown. But what did you make of it? Do you think that's it, done and dusted, or I think it'll rumble on, or I think it's time for a truce? What do you think?
There's two aspects to this, Michael. I think what you're saying is correct, and the fact that I think there was a good number of Celtic fans yesterday who decided that they wanted to be in place for kick-off for the sake of the team. There was the other ones who wanted to stay out and make the protest more visible before then moving on to the sort of the singing and the banners and stuff like that. I think the point was certainly got across. I mean, for anybody sitting at the game, you couldn't fail to hear the messaging coming from the ones that were protesting or miss the banners. So the point was put across pretty clearly. And you were obviously there was always going to be a situation where there was some supporters, not everyone thinks the same. And I'm quite sure there was a few supporters who, probably equally disgusted at what's happened in terms of the window and the things that we've all talked about ad nauseum for the last 2 weeks, wanted to be there for kick-off. And I don't think anybody should be criticised for that. I'm quite sure anybody who maybe wanted to do that maybe joined in with the singing, the protest singing and things like that. So each to their own, but I don't think anybody can say that the point didn't get across. And the second part of your question, no, I don't think that's the end of it, in the sense that I think banners of this nature and singing of this nature are going to continue for several weeks, I would have thought, or until the supporters who are unhappy, which is most of them, see something which gives them something to say, okay, Celtic are acting here and something's happening. But I don't think there'll be any more coming in after 12 minutes. I think that was a one-off. That's just my reading of it. But I think that the singing against the board and the banners, that's here to stay for several weeks, I'd have thought.
I don't think it's going to be Swanee either. I mean, listen, I think you'd be hard pushed to find a Celtic fan who is happy with the way the summer went in terms of recruitment. I think the Champions League exit was pretty pathetic. I think sitting with a big pile of money in the bank and losing to a team like Cagliari Amati, who are bang average, I think that has really hit a nerve. It's left a real bad taste. The problem, I think...
I just say something there, Michael, that it's often said that I know that I mean, we've both seen it, that there can be separate factions of the Celtic supporters, the more noisy ones, and then there's the kind of silent ones who maybe don't say as much. Celtic can rest assured, it's every fan that's not happy.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Ones who are normally silent and quiet and don't kind of get involved in the, I would say the majority of the guys that were in the ground, guys and girls that were in the ground at kick-off yesterday, they're unhappy as well. Yeah. They're just choosing to do it a different way. Celtic shouldn't mistake this for a small batch. No. This is your average season ticket holder, your man, the one who doesn't usually kick up a fuss. They're raging.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think there's a difference between the kind of the online kind of movement and the kind of echo chambers that we always see to get folk to miss parts of games and all that stuff. That's a different thing. I think that's another. Some people aren't prepared to do that kind of protest. They might be grumbling, they'll moan and they'll whinge and they'll sing, but they don't want to miss the football. They want to go to the game and enjoy the football. Yep. But listen, I understand the anger's still going to be there because you had the botched transfer window, the Champions League exit, you've had the briefing against Brendan Rodgers, which caused a stink, and then you had the statement. So these are things that have all added up to create this environment. The problem that Celtic have got coming up, I think, is that any time there's a bump in the road, performance-wise, that's going to come back because the excuse is going to be they don't have the players. Yeah, it's going to come back to that every time. So if they lose it in Belgrade next week, it's going to be they didn't have the proper players signed. Yeah. What else was going to happen is they're going to release their financial figures probably the next week, 10 days. I would be willing to bet that they come out during the match in Belgrade next week, like during the game, because I've seen it before. Listen, usually they get great numbers. I remember being in Rotterdam for the final game, and they put them out the night before the game during the press conference, so that nobody could be asked about it. And by the way, that was their best ever figures. Yeah, they came out almost kind of embarrassed.
Michael, that says it all. If you're embarrassed to release outstanding figures,
incredible figures,
you know then you've not got it right.
The whispers around it is that this could be £100 million in the bank. Tony, I mean, if they put out next week, they've got £100 million in the bank, and then they lose in Belgrade, or they trip up in the league, which was going to happen at some point. This is all going to blow up again. So, I mean, I think the events in the park yesterday, I think maybe cheered a few folk up temporarily, but I think the big elephant is still sitting grumpily in the back of the room.
But it's not gone away. A last-minute penalty kick at Rugby Park is not cleared the board here. This is not. Well, I mean, we will get onto it, I'm sure, Michael. But I actually think it'll have done a lot for the team and the squad. A game like that, and the nature of how it's won, and whether Celtic are fortunate to get the penalty kick at the end or not, whatever your view is on it, just the manner of it. I'm sure we'll come to all of that.
We'll get into all that stuff. Just kind of finishing up on. I mean, what do the Celtic board need to do to try to get some sort of peace breaking out in this situation? What has to happen?
Come out and admit we made a complete mess. Come out and admit that they made a complete mess of it and do a better job with a statement, or I think the fans want a head to roll. It's going to have to be one of those two things.
Does that tie in?
Only thing that's going to appease it until January, I would say, until they get a chance to go back into the market and get a transfer market right.